Hi, I'm Lisa Bardot, and this one's for the movie lovers. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw this mid-century style box of popcorn using my magic paper textured canvases. And if you've never used magic paper before, it's really awesome. I highly recommend watching my magic paper tutorial to get to know them better. You can find the magic paper pack and the brushes I use at bardotbrush.com. And of course, if you're new to Procreate, check out my Procreate for Beginners tutorial to learn all the basics. And before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future tutorials. Let's get into it. To get started, I'm going to open one of my magic paper canvases. I have them saved here on my iPad in my magic paper folder. Today I'm going to be using the rough paper magic paper. All I have to do is tap it and it will import into Procreate. Here in the layers menu, you can see I have the magic paper texture files and then a layer that says start drawing here, which is exactly where we're going to start drawing. I'll begin with a sketch. So I'm going into my pencil box set and using the sketching pencil, but of course you can use whatever sketching pencil you'd like. And then for my color, I'm just going to choose a dark gray. I'm going to start with the top of the popcorn box. I'm going to draw a rhombus shape, and when I get to the end, I'm going to keep my pencil on the screen. Let's get invoke QuickShape. If I tap Edit Shape up here, I can now edit this and create the exact shape that I want. Basically, I'm trying to make sure that these two lines and these two lines are parallel. When I like that, I'm going to tap, and then I'm going to draw 3 more lines for this side. Again, hold my pencil down. Then I'm going to choose Edit Shape. And I want to make sure that these 2 lines are parallel, but this side I'm going to bring in so that I have a tapered box shape. And then I'm going to do the last 2 sides here. Hold down, choose Edit Shape, and move it into place. There we go. Now I have a nice tapered box. I'm going to add some scallop shapes to the top, so I'll zoom in. I'm going to draw 1 scallop over the corner there, half a scallop over that corner, and half a scallop over that corner. I'll draw 2 more scallops in between on that side and 5 on this side. And then I'm going to draw lines connecting the bottom of each scallop to the bottom of the box. So I'll draw a line down, hold it there, and that will invoke QuickShape again. So that makes drawing lines way easier. Next, draw a little line here and a line here and another down at the bottom and on that side as well. I'm also going to add a little label here. So I'll draw a circle and again, hold my pencil down, choose Edit Shape, and then put that exactly where I want it to be. I'm going to do an angled circle. Now for the popcorn, I'm just going to draw kind of like a mounded shape like that. And then I'm just going to draw some popcorn shapes and little bubbly shapes within that area. To practice, let's put a couple pieces of popcorn down here on the floor. Now popcorn is pretty irregular, so you can get by by just making some kind of puffy, irregular shapes. This could be the bottom of the popcorn with a little like hole there. It could be a little piece down there. We'll put a couple pieces on this side. Kind of like that. And basically, I'm just going to repeat these same shapes all over this area. It does not have to be perfect. Just kind of throw them there wherever. And sometimes you don't even need to show the bottom of the shape. You can do it like that. And don't worry about getting these all perfect. Just kind of get the gist of what you want to do. We'll refine it in the final version. All right, we're done with our sketch. I'm just going to move it to a little bit more center. And now we're ready to start coloring. I'm going to go up to the layers panel and just be sure when you're working with magic paper that all of your coloring layers are below the magic paper stack. So for my colored version, I'm going to keep my sketch on top. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to move it below the sketch and I'm going to tap this little N and reduce the opacity of the sketch with this slider. Then for my brushes, I'm going to switch over to my Midcentury Illustrators Kit, and I'm going to use the Bardot Inker brush. Now, I want to start off with a white shape for the box, but drawing white on white can be a little tricky, so I'm going to just stick with my black that I have selected. And I'm just going to draw the outline of this shape. And then I'm going to fill it in with color drop. I can even use the same brush as my eraser if I need to make any little refinements. Now that I have my shape, I'm going to turn it to white by going to color, selecting white, and then just filling that in with white. You can't see it, but it is there if we go to our layers. Now I'm going to create a new layer. And this layer, I'm going to use a clipping mask. And that means whatever I draw in this layer will appear within this white shape. So to do that, I'm going to tap it and I'm going to choose clipping mask. I'm going to start off with these stripes. So I'm going to go to my colors and I'm going to choose a nice deep red. I don't want anything too saturated. I want to make sure I go in a little bit so that will show the magic paper texture a little better. I'm just going to test that color out and see if I like it. I think it looks good. So all I'm going to do is draw a line across this line here and across this line here. Again, even if I go past it, because we're using a clipping mask, it's only going to be within that shape. There we go. Now I'm going to close that shape by drawing a line here and a line here, and then fill it in with color drop. Now I'm going to select the same brush as my eraser, so make sure you have the Bardot Inker selected, and I'm going to erase every other stripe. So I'll start here. And just erase every other one. And then I'm also going to erase where the circle is going to be. So I'm just going to, again, use QuickShape. So draw the circle, don't lift up my pencil, go to Edit Shape, and just make that the exact shape that I want it to be. And then I can just erase the rest. All right, let's work on our popcorn. I'm going to go to my layers panel. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to place this layer below the white box shape. And I'm going to switch over to my magic brushes. These are the brushes that come with the magic paper set. And I'm going to use the brush. All of these brushes have nice soft edges and they're very painterly. So it's great for adding some not so precise texture and color to our popcorn. I'm going to go to my colors and I'm going to start with just a light yellow. And then I'm just going to start adding, maybe I'll increase my brush size. I'm just going to add in some little spots of yellow, just here and there and everywhere. Play around the brush size. The bigger the brush size, the softer your shapes are going to be. So if you want some more precise shapes, you can size down your brush a little bit. Make sure you leave some white space. I'm going to choose a little bit darker of a yellow. Just add in some little bits of a dark yellow every so often. Again, I'm kind of using the shapes I drew before, but it also doesn't matter. I'm just kind of going for it. And then I'll get an even darker color just to add some little spots of dark yellow every so often. That's looking really good. I'm also going to do my little popcorns down at the bottom. So maybe I'll just start with that dark color since I have it up. And then choose a lighter yellow. And just haphazardly fill those in. Great. All right, so now I'm ready to start adding some line details. So I'm going to go up to my layers and I am going to create a layer above all of these other layers. So I'm going to tap on the stripe layer and choose plus sign to create a new layer. And let's start with our black outline. So I'm going to go to my colors and I'm going to choose black. And then I'm going to go back to my mid-century brushes. And this time I'm going to choose the Bardot Bleeding Edge brush. And with mid-century art, there is a lot of line work, but also we're going to let these colorful shapes kind of do the definition, so to speak. So I'm not going to outline everything, but let's start with this scalloped edge here. So I'm just going to outline that, and it doesn't have to line up with your other shapes perfectly. In fact, this gives it the effect that it's off register when it was printing. So it's a little bit off. It gives it a kind of a realistic effect. And I'm going to draw this line down, but I'm not going to draw this red line here because I have the red to kind of define the edge of the box. I'll draw a line across there. And then I'll also define this corner. And then do this edge and that edge. And then we'll do the bottom as well. And then I'm also going to draw the circle for the label. So I'm going to use QuickShape again. And I don't want it to line up perfectly. Just going to have it be just a little bit off. And then I'm just going to erase this edge. Let's do the popcorn. I'm going to create a new layer for this. So I'm going to go to my layers, tap the plus sign, and I'm going to choose kind of a dark orangey yellow. I think that's a good color. And I'm just going to create some outlines of some of these popcorn shapes. Again, keep it loose. You don't have to define every piece of popcorn in excruciating detail. Just make sure you have some pieces overlapping other pieces. Add some bubbly lines here and there. And don't forget to add some line work for our little popcorn here down at the bottom. And of course, we've got to add a little bit of lettering to our label. So I'm going to choose kind of a orangey yellow, and we're going to write popcorn. And you can even add some little fun details here and there. And our last detail is to add a drop shadow to our popcorn box. So I'm going to go to my layers. I'm going to tap the plus sign and I'm going to drag this layer below all of the other layers. For my brushes, I'm going to go back to my magic brushes and I'm going to choose the sweeping wash brush. Then I'm going to choose a gray. I'm actually going to move over into the blues. So I have a little bit of a cooler shadow and choose kind of like a bluey gray. And then I'm just going to lightly kind of shade that in. Kind of using heavier pressure closer to the edge of the box. And get a little bit of a darker color and kind of blend that in as well. Now here where I'm kind of like overlapping the popcorn a little bit, the brush is a little bit transparent. So I'm just going to use my eraser brush and kind of erase the shape of the popcorn from my shadow. And finally, I'm going to go up to my layers panel and I'm going to turn off my sketch. And I'm just going to make sure there's nothing else I want to add to this. I think I want to add some more tones to my popcorn. So I'm going to go back to that layer and I'm going to maybe choose like a little bit of a darker orangey yellow and my brush and just kind of paint in some more darker tones. Maybe even darker than that. I'm using a small brush size. So I'm kind of like focusing in on kind of in between the popcorn. And why don't I get a really saturated bright yellow as well? Gotta have that movie butter. And there you have it, a mid-century style box of movie popcorn with a lot of fun watercolor-like textures. A special thanks goes out to Sam Aker, who lent me her design for this tutorial. This piece was inspired by Making Art Every Day, a series of drawing prompts and challenges that help you establish an art making practice. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Lisa Bardot, and I help people find their creativity through drawing on the iPad. If you'd like to support me, you can check out my premium brushes that inspire creativity at bardotbrush.com. If you're sharing your work to Instagram, I would love to see it. Use the hashtag BardotBrush. Thanks and happy art making! If you like this video, please subscribe for more awesome tutorials and check out one of my other videos. Have a great day!